Hello students. Now we are going to discuss some important topics in third lesson, magnetism and magnetic effects of electric current. First, let us start with the introduction. Magnetism is everywhere from tiny particles like electrons to the entire universe. Historically, the word magnetism was derived from iron ore, magnetite. The chemical formula for magnetite is Fe3O4. In olden days, magnets were used as magnetic compass for navigation, magnetic therapy for treatment, and also used in magic shows. In modern days, most of the things we use in our daily life contain magnets. Some examples are motors, cycle dynamo, loudspeakers, magnetic tapes used in audio and video recording, mobile phones, headphones, CD, pen drive, hard disk of laptop, refrigerator door, generator. Earlier, both electricity and magnetism were thought to be two independent branches in physics. In 1820, H.C. Oersted observed the deflection of magnetic compass needle kept near the current carrying wire. This helps to unify the two different branches, electricity and magnetism, as a single subject, which is nothing but electromagnetism in physics. In this unit, basics of magnets and their properties are given. Later, how a current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet is given. Here are some pictures which tells about the uses of magnets in modern world, like speakers, headphones, MRI scan, hard disk of laptop. Next one is about Earth's magnetic field and magnetic element. In the lower classes, we have noticed that the needle in the magnetic compass, and also we have had this information about, which is nothing but the freely suspended magnet will come to rest in a position which will be approximately along the geometrical north-south direction of the earth. William Gilbert in 1600 proposed that earth itself behaves like a gigantic powerful Bohr magnet. But this theory is not successful because the temperature inside the earth is very high, so it will not possible for a magnet to retain its magnetism. Gower suggested that the earth's magnetic field is due to hot rays coming out from the sun. These rays will heat up the air near the equatorial region. Once air becomes hotter, it rises above and will move towards northern and southern hemispheres and get electrified. This may be responsible to magnetize the ferromagnetic material near the Earth's surface. Till date, so many theories have been proposed, but none of the theory completely explains the cause for the Earth's magnetism. We are familiar with the word geographic North Pole and geographic South Pole of the Earth. First, we have to be clear with this point. Basically, our Earth behaves like a magnet, so that the magnetic South Pole of the Earth lies always near the geographic North Pole. Similarly, the magnetic North Pole of the Earth lies always near geographic South Pole. Once again I repeat, the magnetic South Pole of the Earth always lies near the geographic North Pole. Similarly, the magnetic North Pole of the Earth is always lying near the geographic South Pole. So we have to be clear with this point. So, when the magnetic compass needle is suspended, the north pole of the magnetic compass needle is attracted towards the magnetic south pole of the earth, as I said earlier, which is near to the geographic north pole. Similarly, the south pole of the magnetic compass needle is attracted towards magnetic north pole of the earth, which is near to the geographic south pole. Hence, the branch of physics which deals with the Earth's magnetic field is called geomagnetism or terrestrial magnetism. There are three quantities required to specify the magnetic field of the Earth on its surface, which are often called as the elements of the Earth magnetic field. They are magnetic declination, which is represented by the letter capital D, magnetic dip or inclination, which is represented by the letter capital I, the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field, which is represented by the letter BH. Here is the picture which helps to differentiate the geographic poles and the magnetic poles. Look at the picture. The blue dotted line, the vertical blue dotted line indicates the axis about which the Earth rotates. The top portion of the axis indicates the geographic North Pole, and the bottom portion of the axis indicates the geographic South Pole. You can see the green line which is tilted to an angle from the vertical axis. This green line is said to be the axis of the magnet. This bar magnet indicates that the Earth is behaving as a magnet. So, the magnetic North Pole is trying to move towards the geographic South Pole. Similarly, the magnetic South Pole is trying to move towards the geographic North Pole, so that we can observe the magnetic field lines of force which are passing from the geographic North Pole to the geographic South Pole. Day and night occur because Earth spins about an axis called geographic axis. A vertical plane passing through the geographic axis is called geographic meridian, and a great circle perpendicular to the Earth's geographic axis is called geographic equator. The straight line which connects the magnetic poles of the Earth is known as magnetic axis. A vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis is called magnetic meridian, and a great circle perpendicular to the Earth's magnetic axis is called magnetic equator. Next, declination or magnetic declination, capital D. When a magnetic needle is freely suspended, the alignment of the magnet does not exactly lie along the geographic meridian. The angle between the magnetic meridian at a point and geographic meridian is called the declination or magnetic declination, capital D. At higher latitudes, the declination is greater, whereas near the equator, the declination is smaller. In India, the declination angle is very small, and for Chennai, the magnetic declination angle is minus 1 degree 8 minutes, which is negative for west. This picture shows the direction of the magnetic lines of force. As I said earlier, the magnetic lines of force are passing from North Pole to the South Pole of the Earth. Next one is about dip or magnetic inclination, capital I. The angle subtended by the Earth's total magnetic field, capital B vector, with the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian is called dip or magnetic inclination, capital I, at that point. For Chennai, the inclination angle is 14 degree 16 minutes. Next one is the definition for horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field, capital BH. The component of Earth's magnetic field along the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian is called horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field and is denoted by capital BH. Let us imagine capital BE be the net Earth's magnetic field at a point P on the surface of the Earth. BE can be resolved into two components. One is a horizontal component, which is given by BH is equal to BE into cos I. The vertical component is given by BV is equal to BE into sin I. By dividing these two equations, we will get tan I is equal to BV by BH. At magnetic equator, the Earth's magnetic field is parallel to the surface of the Earth such that horizontal, which implies that the needle of the magnetic compass rests horizontally at an angle of dip I is equal to 0 degree, which is shown in figure. BH is equal to BE, where BB is equal to 0. This implies that the horizontal component is maximum at equator and vertical component is 0 at equator. At magnetic poles, the Earth's magnetic field is perpendicular to the surface of the Earth, such that vertical, which implies that the needle of the magnet compass rests vertically at an angle of dip I is equal to 90 degree, which is shown in figure. Hence, BH is equal to 0 and BB is equal to BE. This implies that the vertical component is maximum at poles and horizontal component is 0 at poles. Next, we are going to derive the equation to determine the tangent of magnetic inclination or angle of dip. To do that, let us imagine capital BE be the net Earth's magnetic field at a point capital P and capital I be the angle of dip. Then, the horizontal component can be written as BH is equal to BE into cos I, and vertical component can be written as BB is equal to BE into sin I. By dividing these two equations, we can get BE sin I by BE cos I is equal to BH by BB. After cancelling, we can get tan I is equal to BH by BB. We can write the equation BE as root of BH squared plus BB squared. Thank you, students. Leave your doubts in the comment box.